Alright everyone, it's time for another large-scale review, and today we're going to be taking a look at another model by Bachmann, this time one from their Spectrum line, which is a very high-end line of model trains that they do. And this model here is the 120.3 frameless tank car. This is the Gramps 88-169 model, and I've been very impressed with the Spectrum line ever since I got my hands on the Bachmann long caboose. So, I mean, I'm really anxious to get this out of the box, so let's go ahead and do that and see what we got here. So the model's out now, and you may have seen me struggle a little bit trying to unbox it, and that's because there's a bunch of little bits and pieces, fine details on this model I was afraid of breaking. So I was trying to be careful doing so. But I got to do a little bit of, I wouldn't say repair work because there's really nothing broken, but these ends of the axles popped off probably during shipping, so I'm going to have to take time and put those, they just snap back on. And then one of the cut levers here on the end has fallen down. I'm going to have to put that back where it goes as well. So as soon as I get that done, we'll take a closer look at this model. Okay, I got the repair work done on the tank car. Relatively simple, just had to snap these pieces on the trucks back into place. I did have to glue the cut lever supports, however, because they wouldn't stay in their slots. I know that apparently the Chinese never glued any of the small details on these Spectrum models. And the Murphy roof boxcars, I know, were very notorious for the small details coming off during shipping. But that's done. The model's back together. And we'll go ahead and look at the paperwork that came with the model. And to start off with, you get a Bachmann coupon for like a 2012 catalog. I don't think you'd be able to get one now if you sent this in. But also, there's the warranty card. Got to get that sent in on this. There's information on your warranty in like several different languages. I'm not going to go through all that, but you do have an exploded diagram of the model in case you need to get a replacement part. Nothing on the back, but that's the paperwork out of the way. We'll go ahead and look at these bags of parts. So bag number one looks to contain some extra pieces, parts, and also some pieces for detailing. Looks like they got possibly placards here for like hazardous materials sign. There's some more of those axle ends like what popped off the unit in shipping, some braking hardware, and just other little pieces in here, so might have a use for that stuff down the line here. But bag number two contains the stepped knuckle couplers. This is in the case that you want to lower your couplers to work with other large scale models here. And looks like you get a little bit of paperwork with this. Remove the lock from the coupler. Oh yeah, I want to address this, so we'll do that now. So like the instructions say, you want to remove the lock from the coupler. As you can see, it doesn't pivot right now. It's just this piece of plastic here. You push down on the tabs and it'll pop right out of the socket there. And once that's removed, I don't know, you could probably just pitch that. But you'll want to make sure to remove that before you run this unit on your railroad, or you possibly could be facing a derailment. So let's talk about the details on this model, and there's definitely not a shortage of it. Bachmann did a really good job on this unit. But I'll put up some images and video of the details while I'm going over them. And to start off with, we got all metal wheels on die-cast trucks, which is really nice. But in addition to that, we also got opening journal box lids. And not only does that add detail to the model, but it also allows easy access to the axles in the case that you have to lubricate them. But also, we got die-cast knuckle couplers, and as I mentioned before, these have working cut levers, so you can open and close them without having to reach underneath, and so, again, really nice. But we also got brake hose detail, and you can also see we got the valve there as well. Chain details, and a working brake wheel, which is really nice. Also handrails and grab handles on the model, steps, and I like this wooden walkway here because it actually looks like aged wood. So again, a really nice touch to this model. But if we go underneath the unit, we can also see there is quite a bit of detail underneath as well, and I would recommend that if you're somebody that plans on getting this model, or if you own it already, do not pick this up from the bottom because you could damage some of these details. I'd say grab it by the sides when you go to pick it up. But if we go on top of the model here, we also got an opening hatch at the top. Again, more chain details. And the last thing I want to mention is the graphics on the model. They are very well printed. They're not blurred. You can read them clearly. And I mean, overall, it's like I'm just blown away by the quality of the Spectrum line. So hopefully you guys can see that this model really does have a lot to offer. And I'm just amazed with the quality and detail of the Spectrum line. And it's just a shame that Bachmann pretty much discontinued it. But I think what really killed a lot of the Spectrum range was the price of the models, because this unit here retails for $279, and I mean, I only paid about $85 for it, and I got this from Al over at Roll Easy Wheels in Vegas. He was the same guy that I got the Peterwitt streetcar from in the previous review. And I mean, that is a far more reasonable price. I saved close to $200 going that way. But again, it's just this model, it amazes me the amount of detail this has, and I've wanted to get my hands on it for a while, and I do have hopes to get at least 2 more of these frameless tank cars for my large-scale collection. So would I recommend this model? Well, if you're into Bachmann large scale, or more in particular the 120.3 line, then yes, this model is well worth picking up if you can find it for a reasonable price. But I will honestly say though that if you want this unit, it's best to pick it up sooner rather than later, because I've said this before, Bachmann has discontinued their 120.3 Spectrum line, and this is one of the few pieces of Spectrum stock Bachmann still offers. And given another 5 years time, these models may disappear altogether, so it's best to get your hands on one of these while you still can. But like I said, I think this is a really nice unit. I think it'd make a great addition to any indoor or outdoor large-scale railroad, and I'm just impressed with the Spectrum line. It's well worth getting. But that's going to be it for this review. Going to go ahead and get some of these couplers fitted to the model, and we'll get on to the test run.